Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mark from SolarGames, and today we're going to talk about the final resolution to the Modern Horizons 3 collector booster scam issue on Amazon. Exactly what happened to me. So we'll dive right in. What I realized after some amount of time was I actually never finished that topic. I promised you all that I would eventually talk about it and let you know, hey, like this happened, whatever. But for whatever reason, I just never made that video. So sorry, guys, but here's a recap. Just timing wise, right? It didn't take until today to get my refund or whatever. It was about like a month or so, month and a half to get everything sorted. It was a little bit scary in the middle, honestly. At some point, like for about 2 weeks, I was pretty sure I was not going to get refunded, and I was going to have to do all sorts of like escalations, whatever. Luckily, none of that happened. So for those of you who don't know what actually happened, the recap of this is that on Amazon there was kind of like a sale for Modern Horizons 3 collector boosters, and they were around like 325 or something. When I think retail they're like 370, 380 back then. So I was like, okay, this is a pretty good price. I'll go buy some, and then of course I buy it, and then there were a lot of different indicators that I was like, wait, this looks really shady. Why is this shipping from like Shenzhen in China? That kind of stuff, right? And it's fulfilled by Amazon, so I thought it was kind of safe, but it was not like sold by Amazon. It's like, so for those that don't understand how the Amazon system works, right? There's basically Amazon is a big platform where people can sell things. Amazon makes it look like all the items that they sell are coming from Amazon directly. It's not true. They pretty much sell about, I think, 10% of the items on the marketplace is actually their items. The other 90% are from sellers. And if you're an individual seller selling on Amazon, which is very similar to eBay, there are two major options that I know of to sell. One way is direct, which means, hey, you have your own warehouse, you have your own location, you put the listing up under your store, and then you sell. And then Amazon would, like give you the order, you then ship the order, etc., like that, right? The other way to do it is they have something called like direct or fulfillment service, which essentially is like this. You ship, like you, of course, list your item, but then you ship that item to Amazon, like some quantity of the inventory. They hold your inventory in their warehouse. They charge you, of course, some fee for each sale. But as items are sold, it's shipped from their local warehouse rather than you having to do the shipment and fulfillment yourself. So this is where if you see fulfilled by Amazon, that's what that means. Especially if the seller is not like, Amazon, but it's fulfilled by Amazon. What's happening there is the seller is selling through that service. That's fulfillment. In general, fulfillment is supposed to do a pretty good job of like sorting out problematic products. Their job is really to say, hey, you said this is like a pack of booster boxes, but this is actually a pack of, I don't know, like gum or whatever. Not totally different product, right? They're supposed to, as they register the product in, it's supposed to say, hey, these are confirmed to be whatever. They didn't do any of that stuff, sounds like, right? So what happened here is whatever was stocked on the shelf under Modern Horizons 3 booster box was actually not that at all. In fact, it was something more like, oh, here's a bunch of like, so what I got was like makeup applicator is what I got. Some other folks reported that they got like spoons or knives or forks, but yeah, everything but the booster box, right? And of course, a way lower value, right, than the actual booster box. Anyways, so this company from China is doing the sales. Again, I don't know exactly what this was. Was this a scam? I mean, the company actually has like a decent amount of reviews, so it almost looks like to me, if I had to guess, this was a compromised account. Like somebody took over a merchant that used to do some business on Amazon but kind of abandoned their store. But the store has some credibility, so of course they were like, well, maybe we can use the store to go sell something else, right? Very common like thing that hackers would do if they ever compromise accounts. So in this case, they started selling booster boxes and way cheaper than what they should be. In fact, at some point later, they even marked that booster box of Modern Horizons 3 collector boosters down from $3.25 to like $5, right? For the whole sealed collector booster for 12 packs. Impossible pricing, right? Anyway, so this happens. Some people bought it. They reported issues. I, of course, was like, I'm going to take a chance on it because honestly, it was just funny for content. And I had faith that Amazon would do the right thing for me and make sure that I'm made whole eventually. Like, I'll be down $350 for a while and I'll get the refund back, whatever. I will say this, right? What I learned from this whole entire experience is don't fuck around with Amazon anymore, to be fair, right? Just don't fuck around anymore. Like, honestly, I'm going to be a little cautious in the future with this type of thing, right? I think Amazon is realizing that there are a lot of returns and there are a lot of like people potentially are scamming the system, right? So, and it's really hard for them, the store, Amazon, to separate the scammers, like the buyers who are like, let's say buying legit booster boxes, opening them and returning them, versus the ones that are like actually getting scammed. So it's, to them, it looks the same, right? Because like, hey, I didn't get what I wanted, and they're issuing a return. The problem now is Amazon is going to have to clamp down on this because they're losing a lot of money if they actually send a real booster box and somebody opened it, they have to take it back, give a refund, and now that item is basically unsellable, right? Because whoever they sell that to, that's a poor customer experience. That's another return. All this is extra cost on the shipping logistics for Amazon. So effectively, they make no money and they got scammed, right? So who's going to get scammed is Amazon. So of course, they don't want to take that kind of brunt. So they're basically going to clamp down. And one way to think about it too, because booster boxes or collectible trading card games are like lottery tickets in a lot of ways. It's imagine you sold a like scratcher that's already been scratched and it's not a winner, and that's what's being returned. But then you have to sell it as a unscratched, right? So it really doesn't work. So anywho, we go through the same normal process on the previous episode of this, which I'll link it below in this video. So if you guys want to kind of see the evolution of what happened when I first got scammed and how I was kind of reacting to that versus now. But basically, I took the item in, I effectively just shipped it back to Amazon, did the whole return. By and large, it was fairly smooth. I originally was trying to be a little bit careful. I did open it with like, the video that was posted there so you guys could all see what it was inside the box, because as soon as I got the box shipped, I realized there's going to be problems. So I didn't even open the box. My recommendation to all of you guys, by the way, for the future is if you ever open any booster boxes from Amazon that even is slightly like suspicious, I wouldn't just open it. I would open it filming your opening, right? And that way you have a videographic record of what happened. Hey, if you get the right booster box, totally fine. But if there's problems, now you have something that you can use for Amazon. In case they ask for this kind of evidence, it will help you a lot, right? Because you'll have it. You can't go back and do it again, right? Obviously. Anyway, so I get the box, I open it, and it's not what it is, right? So I ship it back to Amazon. Everything's kind of like fine. Originally, I thought I had to go, do some extreme escalations, but the automated system actually allowed me to do it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But the automated system, and this is where it gets a little tricky, right? So originally, like a long time ago, Amazon, when they take returns, the moment you basically return the item, it goes into shipment, they kind of just give you the refund. For this item, they had a hold on that payment back to me on the refund for about a month, right? So I think I put the item into return around like middle of July, and they were like, okay, we'll give you, your refund will be available like middle of August, something like this. And I was like, that's a long time. Way more than what I normally expect. But I'm thinking that's fine, right? No issues there. Wait a couple days, right? Like maybe about 2 weeks later, about a week or two before I would get my final refund, this is like the first week of August, I see another message which says, return has started, right? Instead of saying like, your refund will be here, it says return has started. Usually, and I'm giving you a little like insights into the back end of Amazon. This is me speaking with some of my friends who are who work at Amazon, work in that department. They tell me if you see return has started, especially after you have shipped the item back, that usually means one of two things. Number one, Amazon doesn't think you sent the item back, meaning they're still waiting for you to even track it. Because once it's in tracking, once it's like kind of in their possession, they would mark it as like, we'll give you a refund or refund complete, return complete, whatever it is, right? But return has started is basically saying, hey, you haven't shipped the item, you got to ship me the item. Now, especially in my case where I had a refund date and then turned into return has started is even scarier, because what that's saying is on the Amazon side, they're saying we never got your item, right? Or in another way of saying this is you sent us back not what you're supposed to send back, right? Again, normally if they check in the item, they honestly just give you refund there. Like if you go to Whole Foods to return Amazon, I've had plenty of experience like this for normal stuff. Yeah, they just give you a refund. Like honestly, the moment they scan it, the clerk, whoever scans it and returns it, you basically get a refund. And a lot of times it's kind of like a temporary refund, but you get the refund, right? Of course, if there's any issues, they can charge back that refund, but you get the refund. In this case, again, there was a hold for a month, and it turned into, we're not going to refund you. And I was like, what the heck? I got really scared. So I started contacting Amazon, hey, like, what's going on here? And then, of course, I just kind of like, I contacted them, And they couldn't really do anything on the initial ticket. They had to escalate me, all this stuff, send me another email to give me more. Oh, well, we'll get back to you in 2 to 3 days. Our invested resolution team is looking into this, that standard messaging. Anyways, after a couple of days, they did issue me a refund. So this is technically earlier than their expected refund window, but it was pretty scary because, again, I was actually really afraid that if I sent the item in and they said, hey, we sold you a Modern Horizons 3 collector booster box, you sent back us makeup applicators, well, that's not the same item, right? And I'm thinking, but that's what you sent me. So how do I prove this? And this is why I go back to that whole thing I was saying earlier. Film your box openings, because if this happens, at least you can say, look, this is what you sent me and this is what I sent back. Because had you not filmed that, how do they know you didn't, like, for example, put a makeup applicator on there, send that one back instead, right? That gets into all sorts of hairy stuff that you don't want to deal with. So yeah, there was a slight hiccup. Eventually, I did get my cash back refund. I haven't checked it, but I don't think they clawed it back or anything like that. But this whole experience has got me thinking. Originally, I was like, okay, if another thing like this happens, happy to go, oh, okay, do it for the content, right? Do it for you guys, right? It's funny. It's kind of not funny anymore, especially because given how expensive Magic cards have gotten. I'm actually kind of cautious now. So, I mean, personally, right? If it's a pre-order item on Amazon, hey, totally fine. You can just buy it. It's fine. If it's an Amazon, sold by Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon product, I mean, 50-50, because if you guys remember, where are they? Right here? Right? This is sold by Amazon. This is fulfilled by Amazon. These are fake-ass boxes, right? So I still have one unopened just so I can show people once in a while. But yeah, notice how there's no Wizard logo on here? This is somebody else's shrink wrap. The shrink wrap doesn't even feel the same. And when you shake it, right, it's a freaking loose box of cards. So that's sold by Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon. So even when that's true, you still have to be very cautious, right? So my recommendation to everybody out there who's, Amazon had another sale, I want to buy some cards, just be cautious. Like, again, it's probably okay. It's probably safe. The other thing you have to really worry about, right? Like, especially if you don't have a long history with Amazon. Like me personally, my account, I had it open since I was in college. So that's like 20 years. I'm a fucking old bastard, right? It's like 20 years, right? I've had this account open. So I have some history with Amazon. They know my spending pattern. They know what I buy. They know what my return rates and all that stuff are. So they have a general good understanding of like, hey, he's above or below his whatever. If you have no account standing, if you have like very little history and you start returning a lot of stuff, they're gonna ban your ass. I guarantee you, Amazon is not out there to like earn money, especially if you're just like returning a lot more than what they expect of a specific item. I mean, look, the merchants, by the way, on the back end, they have all this data. They know what items get returned, what's the percentage, whatever. They have a lot more data to tell them ahead of time if your transaction is even like fraudulent or potentially fraudulent or safe, all that stuff. There's a ton of data on the back end that you do not see. So I wouldn't mess with Amazon, to be honest. Like, yes, if you do like a shady ass return, probably get away with like 1 or 2, especially if a new account. And then you're gonna get the ban hammer. And once the ban hammer lands, you may not be able to get any more Amazon accounts, period, right? Because they may ban your address, they may ban your credit card numbers, whatever. So they have ways to kind of detect when you're doing this. And the other problem is also the merchants share this data on the back end. So the merchants kind of know among all of themselves who the problem actors are. So there's a little bit of that too. So just be careful, be aware. But otherwise, yeah, look, go to LGS. If you want to get a product, peace of mind that you're going to have what you want. Especially, okay, for all of you guys, I know there's a lot of collectors on my channel. If you guys are buying things and keeping them sealed, right? Because you're like, oh, long term, whatever. Bro, do not buy from Amazon. Pre-release, if it's like a pre-sale from Amazon, I think it's okay. Because those products get shipped from Wizard. They go to Amazon's warehouse. They then get shipped to you. Those are totally fine. After set release, do not buy anything from Amazon unless you're going to open it, or if you feel like you know enough about the products to be able to tell the real ones from the fake ones. And I'll tell you right now, like, I go on Etsy sometimes, and people are selling like Wizard shrink wrap, shit like this, right? So I know there are boxes out there that are, shrink wrapped properly, packaged properly, whatever, and you're not able to tell the difference. So just letting you know ahead of time, like if you're buying from Amazon and you're not planning to open like anytime soon, do not buy from Amazon. Just go to your LGS. Again, LGS, like, do not get inventory from Amazon. Their inventory is, again, from distribution, which comes directly from WotC, right? Or, you know, creators, whatever. So you're a lot safer getting it from there. Just how it is. I wish it wasn't this way, but it is. That's going to do for me for this video. I'm Mark from Solar Games, and I'll see you next time. Stay classy. Thanks, guys.